That's recording. I'm going live. Going live.
Okay, go. Go gadget arms.
You start with your go gadget arms. Hello.
I nearly said good morning then, but I meant good afternoon. Good evening and welcome.
Who was that? Hello, good morning, good evening, and welcome. Who was that? That was something from the 1980s.
That was a programme. Answers on a postcard.
Yeah, anyway, I don't know.
Distracted already.
So we've got balls today.
Not that you didn't know that already.
Indeed. So we're actually making Swedish meatballs. What make them Swedish?
Pork.
What is the pork from Sweden? Possibly not.
No, it's from the Holly's farm shop.
So I don't know what makes it. Anyway,
It can go hurdy-gurdy.
the Muppet Swedish chef. Oh, is that mine?
Yes.
Oh, what's mine doing down there?
Cooking yours.
Cooking my microphone. Anyway, hi Zoe. Hope you're okay. I can't see.
Hello, Zoe.
So Swedish meatballs with parsnip mash. Pork meatballs, parsnip mash. I haven't actually weighed the parsnips at this point in time.
I think
So I think I need
each
to.
is probably enough, but we'll do 3, 1 for good luck.
Right, okay.
It is 400 grams of parsnips, just to let you know.
400 grams of parsnips.
And I never peel my vegetables.
No.
Because there's some goodness in their skin, and we're going to mash it. Now,
No.
if you were being a real chef, then you'd peel it and then
Well, you're not a real chef.
And
What's that all
No.
about? I thought you were a real chef.
real chef.
No, because interestingly, there was a recipe you suggested that I made last week, which was with sweet potatoes and a salad, and I didn't take the peel off, and we both went, this is so much nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Useful for tips as well.
So what we're starting with here,
I've just started.
So is peel the parsnips chop into 2 centimetre pieces.
It's just to make it easier to
Trim the
mash
stem.
There's some wine in this fridge. We haven't. No,
There is actually.
I know there is. I saw it. And having just come back from a holiday, it's about wine o'clock.
Yeah. So, and then you want to trim tender stem broccoli and slice in half.
Yep.
Place parsnips in a saucepan and cover with boiling water. Right, so I'm going to boil the kettle then. That's what I'm going to do. I hope I've got a big job.
Actually, when it's tender stem broccoli, I always cut mine in half, no matter what the recipe says. Just because I think it's, I did it yesterday actually in a salad for lunchtime, because it just cooks quicker. And I don't know about you, but lots of people, particularly children, don't like the stems of broccoli. They find them a bit woody, or they go, no, it's not. It's like it's almost not part of the real thing. But they go thinner, they cook quicker, and they just, I think, I don't know, they're almost more delicate in the dish. So I just did mine for kind of 3 or 4 minutes in boiling water yesterday, and then rinsed them under cold water and just added them to a salad I was having. But
nice.
Do you know what? There's nothing wrong with a couple of frozen broccoli florets. We also have frozen broccoli in our house and frozen green beans, because they're easy to just dig out.
To be fair, you have frozen most things in your house, because you do freeze
No, these
everything.
were bought frozen though. These one were picked and frozen by someone.
Yes,
it's
freshly
300
frozen.
grams of pork mince to serve 2.
Yeah, so I just measured out the pork.
It was weighed on the.
Yeah, there was 400 grams, so I've made it down to 300.
Oh, I see. That's a shame. No, I'm going to waste. I'll cook it all, and we can always save the meatballs.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I would cook it all. I wouldn't.
All right.
What are you going to do with 100 grams of mince?
Don't know. Mix them up.
Cook it. We'll just save a couple of meatballs, and then I'd put those in the freezer.
Yes, alongside lots of many other things that are in your freezer.
I know, but then you get ready cooked meals. They're my freezer meals. Right, I'm going to do 3 of the parsnips out of,
Yeah, like I said, I didn't weigh them. I just literally grabbed some parsnips. So is that the parsnips?
They're done, yeah.
They can now go for boiling.
They can.
And get these going. because these probably take the longest.
It's 180 grams of broccoli, but to my mind, you can't overeat broccoli. So I would just chop what's here because there's never enough veg on my plate. Veg is what gives you your fibre. Great for your gut health. Fibre is what fills us, makes us feel satiated, and gives your body its vitamins and minerals.
Oh, I've stopped going in this drawer, I'm sorry.
That's all right, I can move over.
Keep shoving you. Yeah, and also, you feel like you're having a meal as well when you've got plenty of veg, because you keep on chewing and you keep on going. And
yeah, and digestion, digestion starts in the mouth. So yeah, part of the digestion process and eating and feeling full. I could do with garlic.
Should I do the garlic?
Half the garlic. How much garlic? Is there 2 garlic cloves? I like garlic, so we'll use 2 anyway. Ooh, it's a tough one.
Tough garlic.
Need to work out.
Yeah. What am I doing with the garlic?
I would either crush it or slice it, whichever you find easiest. Stuart tends to chop ours. I like to use the garlic crusher because I'm lazy.
I've gone for the garlic crusher, actually. Oh, sorry, that's your hip again. Right. It's Arkwright's till in a cutlery drawer. Oh, well, sorry, I am still here. I've disappeared off the side.
No,
I
keep doing this as well.
We're not central where we're chopping.
On.
Right, so I'm currently. We've got parsnips in the pan, which was how much parsnip?
400 grams.
400 grams of parsnip. You've just sliced the tender stem, ready for dealing with later. That's not just yet.
Oh yeah, when we're done.
Did you not believe me?
No, because it's right at the top and I've just left it.
I've
not made this recipe for ages. That's why I'm looking down there.
So I'm just currently crushing 2 garlic cloves. It is
Swedish meatballs with parsnip mash and broccoli, but there's a little gravy kind of sauce to go with it, with the red onions, with the meatballs. Sure,
it's got a flasher name than a gravy.
Gravy. It's not really gravy. It's just like red onion
sauce.
Red onion jus.
All of that. Yeah.
So pork's quite a lean protein in its minced style. So don't be afraid of pork. You could use an alternative. You could use minced tofu if you're a vegan. You could use turkey mince. Turkey is also a lean protein.
Right.
If you wished.
So in a bowl, mix the pork mince. I'm going to add dried dill, dried parsnip, and half the garlic, and salt and pepper. And I've got going to be making. It says 12 balls, but I'm going to be making 14, aren't I?
Well, we can have big balls, or we can make more.
Yeah. So sauce.
Thinly slicing the onion, just in case it doesn't look like I am, because I'm not sure you can see what I'm doing. So it's a red onion, and thinly slicing, or as thin as I can with my chef's knives.
With your chef specialities.
And it's the whole of the onion that I'm doing.
Right, so I have the pork mince in a bowl. I'm salt and peppering it. I'm adding half the garlic, so obviously 1 garlic clove crushed.
Not that it
into
really
the
matters.
Pork mince. And then, is it 2 teaspoons of all the dried herbs?
Dried dill, dried parsley, 2 teaspoons each, yes.
Soz, it's me again in this drawer. Right, so 2 teaspoons of dried parsley.
Afternoon, Penny. Nice to see you here.
And 2 teaspoons of dried dill. Let me see.
It seems to be taking ages.
So not doing anything.
It is, but just did you pour boiling water in it?
I did. not performing as efficiently as you'd
Not
like
gas.
it
I use gas at home.
to. Well,
Or I have gas at home.
that too. Right, so I just need to
Dig in. I was going to. I don't mind doing it if you don't want to.
No, it's fine. I like doing this when we make the.
You could have mixed chip nail polish in there.
Yeah, when we make the Scotch eggs.
You could add any herbs and spices into there, whichever floats your boat. At home, we would probably add a couple of chili flakes to there. But you could put whatever you want. You could make them, well, obviously they wouldn't be necessarily Swedish at that point, if garlic and dill and herbs. But I'd always put the mixed herbs in.
12 balls.
Yeah. So if we take half each, we should be able to make 6.
Oh, you're clever at your maths, you, aren't you?
Yeah. So I tend to split it into what I'm trying to do, because they are tiny little balls.
Yeah.
And then roll around. But this is a really easy way to do koftas, meatballs, burgers, whatever it is you want to do. What are we making? Doesn't say how many.
It does. Somewhere it says
Do you say 6?
divide it into 12 balls. It does at the end of the sentence.
Well, it's up to you. Do you want to do 7, or do you want to do them as bigger balls?
I've done my 6 here.
Okay.
What have you done?
Did you 6?
And then we're going to be frying these, aren't we?
We are. Teaspoon of oil, olive oil. And that's it. So 8 minutes until golden brown.
Texture like sun.
Deary me.
Yes.
We should try and do this not hungry one time, because I think we get a bit giddy.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
So 12. Apparently.
12 balls.
Apparently balls, but they could be a bit squoval.
Squoval.
So some are going to take a bit longer.
Why are you adjusting my balls? What was
Why?
wrong with mine?
Because I actually think that they're going to take longer to cook, and given that we did have more mince, we should make more. That's why.
So you're messing with my balls.
We just need to take a bit of each to make enough. That one's a bit big. Stick it on there.
Well, what are we doing with that one now?
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
They look like little brains.
9, 11, 12, 13, 14. That'll do, I would think.
That's a very little one now.
Take it off there, because that was a bit big. There you go. And that one's a bit big. That's what I do at home. I don't really change.
Okay. I do apologise.
While we wait for the parsnips.
Today we have microphones, so any whispering is right underneath you. Because I actually got them to work today. Don't understand the logic of that either. Yes?
Yeah.
So I'm putting my balls in the pan.
That doesn't feel hot enough yet.
It's not. I thought it was, but it's not, is it? It's all a bit slow.
We're not cooking on gas today.
No, we're cooking on induction. Which obviously don't know how to ramp up any more than it's got some extra numbers that I missed.
Oh.
No.
Now it's steaming.
Okay. So, are we going in now? That sizzled.
Is it sizzled?
That sizzles. Right, so
this is the faffy part, I think.
How many million meatballs have we got now?
10 million. Can never have enough meatballs.
Never have enough balls. No.
They won't take long to cook. 8 minutes apparently, but we'll need to keep tossing them and turning them.
I'm just going to
get in the door.
Yes, for a change. I was hoping I had tongs, but I obviously don't. So use that.
I've had tongs in here before.
Have fun. Okay.
That was a good event. That was a good event you organised, that one.
Oh dear. Now we're getting a bit smoky. So
they're boiling.
at last.
What happens with these? They've got to be on 15 minutes ish. So I'll put my timer on. That's not my phone.
You can put your timer on them.
Each face.
That didn't work. Obviously, I'm normally more miserable when I look at the phone. Oh, they're
It's not
properly
my
sizzling.
phone, so I don't know where your timer is.
That's what I just did to you, wasn't it?
I know my phone's over there. So they boil for 15 minutes, but just towards the end. So after 15 minutes, you put the broccoli in for another 5, and then they'll cook nicely together. In the meantime, these take 8 minutes, and then we'll take them out and keep the pan to do the onions
Sauce.
and stock. There's beef stock going in the sauce. It is onions, it's the remaining garlic that we haven't used, and coconut yogurt.
All right.
Love coconut yogurt for cooking with and adding to make creamy sauces with. Obviously it's dairy free, not that there's anything wrong with dairy, but there's less fat in there. It adds a nice flavour, and this one contains live cultures as well. So it's all very nice. And a recyclable pot.
Got it all going on, isn't it, that one? Available from the Hollis Farm Shop, that one. It is. It's new.
So what happens is that once these are cooked for 8 minutes or so, or whenever you feel yours are,
going a bit fast.
I think they might need to come down a bit more. Oh, that's a bit dry. You use the sauces from, or the juices from the meat. Not that there should be much in a good pork mince. Add some more oil to it, and then we make the sorry, got distracted. Make the kind of sauce and gravy with some, as I say, oil, onions, stock, garlic, and the yogurt, and then we put the meatballs back in so they can all mixed up. If you've got one of those, hi Amy, if you've got one of those families that like sauce on the side, you could always put the sauce on the side. People don't like things together. Thought we might need that, but we don't. Don't know how big the
wrong one.
It's going to be.
So you talked about the benefits of pork.
Good protein. So yeah, if you're not using pork, if you're using an alternative to meat, then you just need to make sure that your protein is still there.
Yeah.
You just need to make sure that your protein is included. So use something that adds some protein, or add protein to it.
So obviously
your protein will be quite low.
So the reason why we've got parsnip because obviously a lot of people will perhaps think mashed potato, or why would you choose parsnip over potato?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with potato at all. It's just that potatoes have more starch in them, and starch is ultimately a form of glucose. So if you're looking to try and keep your blood sugars a little bit lower, then a parsnip is a great way to have an alternative to a potato. What you could do is mix the parsnip and potatoes. If you've got fussy families that they're not quite sure, or you're not quite sure, then mix them together, because you'll end up kind of not really tasting the parsnip. If you've got people, I've got some in our family that I don't like parsnip. Hi Jackie. And if they don't, then mix the two together. And in terms of what your gut enjoys, it enjoys diversity. So not the damn stand. I quite enjoy diversity as well. They're good to watch. But it enjoys diversity. So there are different vitamins and minerals within a parsnip than there is in a potato. But there is nothing wrong with the potato. There will just be slightly more carbohydrate content. There'll be slightly more sugar content to the overall meal. And I think that a lot of it is just about conditioning. So a lot of people wouldn't think to do carrot mash or parsnip mash or any other root veg mash, swede, turnip. But again, swede, turnip, parsnip and potato all together, you end up tasting, well, it's a mixture, isn't it, really? So again, lots of diversity, and those root veggies tend to be really inexpensive. So a great way to keep the cost of a meal down too.
But and again, a lot of them actually have more flavour than potato.
Yes.
And potato ends up being more flavoursome as soon as you start adding fats to it.
That's exactly right. So yeah, you tend to kind of go, I like a bit of butter in there, some olive oil, some cheese,
cream.
Yeah, cream. And you can do that with a parsnip as well. Celeriac would work well. Any veg would work well, but it's about kind of thinking, do you have in your daily week, do you keep going for the same vegetables? Do you eat the same vegetables? And variety is the spice of life, apparently. So they say. And I think when our health, our immunity, are the way we want to feel in terms of vitality, it is about those minerals and vitamins and what's happening down in your gut. And it just likes to have lots of diversity, lots of array.
Array. We did a recipe. This is quite a while ago, a couple of years ago, with a chef live one time, and he actually used celeriac as a mash at that point. But he boiled it rather than water, boiled it in milk, didn't he?
And I was going to say that before when we were peeling them, that if you were going to be a proper chef, then you would peel the skin off and make sure it's not got any bits in it, and then he sieved it and it became really like you'd have a puree.
But the milk sort of added a creaminess, but obviously wasn't as fat as I didn't have as many fats in it as a cream.
And you're draining it off.
But he added a little bit when we came to doing the actual blending of it, didn't he?
Yes.
At that point,
it was a good. It was. Oh my gosh!
What?
Because the salmon fish cakes came off the back of it, but that's not what we cooked. It was salmon.
It was with the celeriac mash, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was salmon. But we made then.
We then developed
a lovely nice fish cake. A lovely nice fish cake.
A right nice fish cake.
A right nice fish cake.
Okay, so as a meal as a whole, obviously we've got protein.
Mm-hmm. Got fibre.
Yeah.
Carbohydrates. Fat is already in there from the meat and our olive oil, so it is nicely balanced in terms of your macronutrients being carbohydrates, protein and fat. You could, of course, turn this into more of an Italian dish and grate courgettes or squash and kind of have noodles. And again, with children, just pop regular. I mean, you can have regular spaghetti. There's nothing wrong with having. It's just going to take up the carb content. Which, as an aging female, there is nothing wrong. We need carbohydrates. We need the whole grains. We need all of that. What we don't need is white pasta and too many carbohydrates. We just don't tolerate them the same as we did in our 20s and 30s. So it's not about not having them, but it's about maybe super swapping them and combining them with other things. But if you've got a family, you're not cooking anything extra. If somebody doesn't want veg and they go, I don't like veg, just cook some spaghetti with it, add some broccoli on, or add their favorite veg on the side. You're not cooking a million different dishes.
And the other key part is about the fats, isn't it? Because the fats that we're using, the olive oil and the natural fats coming out of the meat,
they're natural.
It is that they're not.
That the fat from the meat will be saturated, but it's not hydrogenated, so it's not crappy fat. It's
and a hydrogenated fat example would be it's like sunflower,
any vegetable oil, really, any vegetable oil or anything that has been made in a factory, really. So anything that's had extra hydrogen pumped into it. So crisps and most of the ready meals that you would get would be lots of processed meat. So so probably a meatball bought off the shelf as a meatball will probably have hydrogenated fat in it.
Because a rapeseed oil quite often, isn't it? Or the cheaper ones, or sunflower.
Put something in it to
preserve it,
to make it a ready meal that you can keep in your fridge for 28 days and ping it in the microwave. So it's about shelf life really. But olive oil is not olive oil is not a saturated fat. Olive oil is a great oil. It still holds calories. That's fine. It's a unit of energy, but in terms of your body recognizes it and your body can use it. Whereas a trans fat, your body and your cells don't really know what they're doing with that. They just kind of go, well, you've given it to me, I'll have to deal with it. Our body's clever, but they don't really enjoy it.
So we've got fat, protein, fibre,
and
carbohydrate, and obviously we've got the
extra carbohydrate with the broccoli
and extra green nutrients in the greenness.
Yes, greeniness. So they have probably been in for 8 minutes because we're now on 5.
Right.
And that was on.
Okay, 10. So do they need to come out?
We just need to rest those on the plate.
Rest them.
They're tired
now. Get a little sleep. Meanwhile, keep the pan its juices.
And all the juices, of course.
Of course. Oh, these are a good sized meatball that we ended up with. Okay, so what's going in this pan now? These meatballs are having a little rest.
Adding another teaspoon
of
olive oil.
Oh.
Now, I don't know whether
do we need it?
I would say let's try without.
Okay, let's try without.
And I think that's just a case of,
because I suppose we've got that much liquid in the pan,
depending on
and knowing there shouldn't be water, but there might be a little bit. I don't know.
Depending on how much these onions soak it up, you don't really know what.
Depends whether soakers or not.
Soakers or not. Onion and garlic.
Onion, garlic. Oh, you've been and done some extra chopping over here.
I did because I thought it was
my
a
chopping
bit chunky. What would be nice?
Didn't get your stamp of approval in the old chopping department.
I was just slicing up. What would be quite nice is an extra veg, and something else would be some mushrooms in here.
Oh yeah.
And you can have an onion mushroom.
Nice.
Sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, extra vegetables. The one that I'm loving at the minute, and I don't know if it's just because it's in season and it's particularly nice, is the Calvaro Nero. Oh. It's really good. We had that with a tiny little bit of fat, either olive oil or a tiny little bit of butter fried when you've chopped it really small. It's absolutely gorgeous and makes an amazing sort of base to anything. It makes everything look huge in terms of if you like eating like I do and you want to feel like you're having a meal, actually put in the Calvaro Nero as sort of your base to anything, because it does pretty much go with anything.
It does, and the way to make that nice and creamy is a different taste, if you like it, is it just some tahini paste with water to water the tahini down, and then you get that sesame flavour.
Oh right, well I'm going to try that now. When are we adding the half a beef stock?
I need 120 ml of water as well.
Does it have to be boiling water? Probably makes sense.
It probably makes sense to have it a bit warmer. Yeah.
Not cold hot water.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
We're going to wait 5 minutes for these.
For the onions?
Yeah, to kind of soften and get a bit mushy.
Oh, it doesn't sound like it's got much water in it. I think I forgot to put water in it. Oh dear, there's another kettle biting the toast.
Why? What do you mean?
No, I'm joking. Because I'm sure it's fine. I was just boiling it with nothing in it. Not very sensible.
So you could do the same things. It's a nice way to do a burger. If you don't want to eat too much red meat, then you can just make these into patties instead.
So when you say patties, you have to do that at the same time.
I do that with my hands.
Yeah.
Is this the same as the equivalent of a beef stock cube?
You add 500 millilitres of water normally to a full one. I'd say it doesn't matter because it's only a strong.
We only need half of one.
Stronger taste, isn't it?
I often quite add the whole.
So probably half of one of those.
I'll do half one just because otherwise we can't add more water. It'll get too.
Yeah. So we're basically adding beef stock now in a second.
Oh, sorry.
I've got one. Adding beef stock into. I did dramatise that, by the way. Into here.
Looks like a placenta.
I've never actually looked closely at a placenta.
I like it more than that. It was like, what am I going to do with half a stock cube?
And then adding how much water?
120 mils.
Oh, which size jug? That's a diddy one, isn't it? Oh, the baby jug.
Baby jug. Unless I got the other out.
Do, baby jug. Do. Whoever created that song was the worst person
This
ever.
genius.
Well, genius in terms of getting a children's market of purchase, I suppose.
There's only 80 grams of yogurt that we need.
Oh, you're just dropping the broccoli in now.
I'm dropping the broccoli in now because I can see the timer's about to go off.
Are we not going to mash the potato, the parsnip?
So they need to drain afterwards.
All right, yeah, okay. All right,
I've got to cook it first, unfortunately.
Anyway, so the broccoli's just gone in the parsnip pan.
The what? Oh, the broccoli's just gone in, sorry. And I've got another 5 minutes. And I need to turn it back up again. The one thing I don't understand.
Oh no.
Is when I add cold vegetables. Oh, that's loud.
It's time to get up.
When I add cold vegetables to a pan of what will look like boiling water, I find it fascinating that the water just suddenly stops boiling, and I didn't think the veg was that cold. Sorry,
120 mils of water.
Yeah, and 80 grams of yogurt. Have you got a weigher scaler?
A weigh scaler?
Over there.
Uh-huh.
Now, I think 5 minutes is quite a long time for broccoli, so I probably won't do 5 minutes.
That's because you're also a little bit impatient.
Yeah,
possibly. Yes. As long as you don't get hangry, we're all right.
So that needs to be bubbling away, simmering away. Simmer down.
There we go. Can you see this?
Oh, it's bubbling now.
Oh, she's happy now. Got some bubbling going on.
My broccoli.
My broccoli's bubbling.
Broccoli bubbling.
What was this? Oh, sorry. Did you just know? I can't remember anything, can I? You're going to have to tell me again.
Is that the smallest sip we've got?
Don't know.
Well,
yes, possibly.
Anyway.
Possibly.
So you drain off the vegetables and set aside the broccoli for later on. I can go in there.
What?
And we'll mash the parsnips. You can, I suppose you can go, it depends how you like your mash. You can do it in the back of a fork, you can use a masher, or it depends how creamy and smooth not creamy, smooth. This sauce, I love this sauce.
It looks, can you see that now with the coconut yogurt in it as well?
Great for a stroganoff too, just with the mushrooms in. What were you going to say to stroganoff? There was something, is that an inside joke?
I wanted to say something funny because it sounded funny, but I couldn't think of anything. That was what the problem was. I just laughed at myself because I was like, "Oh, that's so funny." Stroganoff. No. That was it. So no, there wasn't anything.
Do you like broccoli al dente?
Yes.
Right, we'll take the
fine.
broccoli out then. Let me just stab the parsnip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of done. I'll leave them in a bit longer. So that kind of bubbles and simmers away, and then we add the lovely meatballs back into the juice, coat them all, and then pop a lid on and simmer for maybe 4 minutes. So,
you have my balls back then?
Do you want to put them all in? Because we'll probably eat them.
To be fair,
we'll probably eat them.
Yeah, we probably will. Oh, look, lost the parsley.
So they coat.
Oh, find them a coat.
Spatial awareness wasn't very good. Well, that would fit on there. Well, in our house, she would have gone, how's that going to fit there? Because in my head, they look similar sizes. What a div.
Why? Right, has that got enough coating? Are you happy with the coating?
Are you?
Well, it's you that goes in and corrects me afterwards.
I don't. I just think I just like to
interfere.
I'm not correcting anything. I'm just like a bit of a stir.
Right, with your spatial awareness, that one's okay.
That one's great.
I'm gonna have to use a plate.
Oh.
Don't have a big enough lid.
Right, I am going to take those out now.
It's an official announcement. We're taking
Yes,
out.
talking to myself.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. What's been in there? Meat.
Yeah. What do you want?
It's all right, something in there.
It's hot. Deciding what colour bowls.
Biggest decision of the whole recipe is what colour bowls. That's the bit that we pay most attention to. Most important part. Not the fact that we've got our backs to you or anything like that.
Any of that, no. Most
How
importantly.
long's left on that timer? 10 minutes, right? You don't need 10 minutes. It's just fine.
What have you done in the sink now?
Spilt my colander.
Oh no. Actually, this sauce is starting to thicken up and it looks très bien.
Très bien. Is that Swedish?
It's as Swedish très bien.
It's as Swedish as we get, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have to Google what très bien is in Swedish now.
Somebody watching, Google what très bien is and tell us, and we'll try and pronounce it.
We should have worn our ABBA outfits today. We're on
Yeah.
Swedish milk balls. Swedish
Or milk balls even.
I don't know if any of you have seen the little bit clips of our dance challenge last night. No, you just pull that one. But it's the masher you like.
Oh
here.
yeah, I do.
You like this masher. But Emma and I, and I think it was.
There was lots there last night.
There was, yeah, but in terms of dressing up,
Oh yeah.
we took it to the next level. I don't normally dress up week one. You do. You like
Yeah,
dressing up.
for the dance challenges from the get-go, I go, what can I wear?
But so yeah, we had a great time. Actually, being half of ABBA, in our opinion.
We had a great time. We could be their stand-ins.
Yeah, as holograms, as long as we were far away and they were just
I'm not singing.
yes, playing their tracks over the top of us.
But the dancing, nailed it.
Yeah, maybe not.
In my head it did.
You might have done. I generally don't. There's a bit in the dance challenge, and there always is, where I can't ever quite work out how to move my feet round. So then I just have to tap my feet instead of actually doing. So I tap my feet instead of actually doing the move because I can't work out where my feet should be. So I count the beats I was tapping as if I've done something and then move on.
You just let your cat out of the bag.
Because there was one where my feet kept getting tangled up last night. I didn't understand how to rectify it, so I just thought I'd just tap
You did rectify it very nicely.
Yeah, and the person that had the silly idea of doing a box step right and then switching to a left
Was
me.
you? Where we have to keep our hands now out the other side.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, you have to look out for. There's a little snippet. There will be a film eventually as well. And the film to the dance challenge for Shania Twain is in the newsletter. So if you've not seen it, then you need to make sure either you ask me for the link to sign up to the newsletter, or open the newsletter that went out about a week ago. I think it was 10 days ago. It's in there.
We is done.
Oh, we both did that at the same time, didn't we? Right, okay, I've come over here at the same time as you too. Oh.
So because we've left the skin on the parsnips, obviously the mash looks rustic.
It's a bit rough.
It's rustic. But
Rough.
Doesn't matter in my eyes.
Well, that's because you're hungry.
No, I just think I like roughage and like a bit rough.
Right, so let's turn this off. So, like, literally, can you see now how nice our balls are?
Adding a bit of salt and pepper to the mash.
Oh, about to take it. I was going to go in with the mash first.
Yep.
But this would be amazing with Calvo Nero on the bottom as well.
Yeah.
As these bits.
Which, you know,
I should there was
probably at home an extra veg I would have added in.
Yeah.
If I was at home, and I'm sure you would too.
Yeah.
Did you want?
You're
on top or on the side?
I'm on the side.
Okay.
Doing a photo. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So we're just plating it all so you can see the final this is not the most picturesque of
What?
me dishing up. It's not doing it in the most beautiful way I could be doing it.
No, I don't have a silver service qualification either.
Right, so there we go. That's literally Swedish meatballs, parsnip mash, and tender stem broccoli.
Yummy.
Yeah. So that is us for this month. We're back again. We're back again next month, but I can't remember what date. Can you remember what date?
What day is it? May.
No, I can't. It needs to be earlier in May, probably. Don't know.
Anyway,
we'll be back. And I don't think we know what we're cooking either.
We'll be discussing that over this.
Anyway, so thank you ever so much for being here. Yeah, we will. It's taken 40 minutes. That's not too bad for us, but without having to do it in stages and pauses and things. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Are you going round to turn it off? Oh, there you go. Yeah, this was Recipe Live with myself and Emma Wilson of Emma Wilson Fitness and her My Time Change program. Yeah, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.